Ahead on WUFT's First at 5, a missing Marion County teen found safe. The new details emerging from his disappearance.
An update on this group of thunderstorms, now potential tropical cyclone 9 around Hispanola. I'll let you know where potentially this potential tropical storm could be headed coming up.
Plus, 1 year after Hurricane Helen made landfall in the Big Bend region, the devastation that remains. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
All eyes are focused on the tropics as forecasters are tracking 3 systems, 2 hurricanes and 1 that could be our next named storm. While Humberto and Gabrielle will not impact Florida, a recently developed tropical cyclone could be a different story. And from the tropics back to North Central Florida, the UF weather team is forecasting a rainy weekend ahead. This is video of showers from outside the WFT studios earlier this afternoon. And that's just the start of what could be a major rainmakers for our area. This is WFT's First at 5. I'm Haley Balgobin.
And I'm Nicole Borman. While there are no coastal watches or warnings yet, the UF weather team says that they may start as early as this weekend. We begin with UF forecaster Aiden Waxman live in the weather studio, timing out the showers for the next few days and tracking the latest advisories on the tropics from the National Hurricane Center.
Nicole, the National Hurricane Center just issued its first advisory on potential tropical cyclone 9. Right now it's around Hispaniola, very disorganized group of thunderstorms, but could organize as it gets into some warmer waters and a little bit more moist air a little bit over to the north. Here's the current track released right now, has it hugging Florida's east coast and then making landfall somewhere around the Low Countries or the Carolinas. You can see this track, this cone of uncertainty really widens around this area. So Low Country needs to keep an eye out, but if you're on the East Coast, also important, could see a little bit of storm surge, maybe some coastal flood advisories issued over the next couple of days. Let's bring it a little bit closer to home though. Right now, this cold front, a lot of showers and storms ahead of this at the moment, and we saw some rain earlier today, and this is really going to be our rainmaker throughout the rest of the weekend. There's plenty of dry air behind it. Might see those rain chances take a pretty big dip into early next week, so that is some good news. Don't have to have that umbrella out all the way into next week, but a good idea to have it for the weekend. Most of these moving well off to our east, maybe a shower along 75 right now for some of us trying to get home, but overall looking forward to some drier weather early next week, but some rain this weekend. I'll have a more in-depth outlook on the tropics in your full forecast coming up.
This Marion County 17-year-old is at the center of a now expired Amber Alert. The investigation began Thursday afternoon when deputies say the teen was connected to a shooting near Denellen. But as WFT's Jessica Wilkinson reports, this morning detectives discovered the details of the story didn't add up.
Less than 24 hours after an Amber Alert went out in Marion County saying teen Caden Spate was shot and kidnapped, deputies tell me he was found unharmed and the story was made up.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So update now. This just coming in. We are with him right now, and he is in good health.
Deputies received reports of a shooting just after 4 p.m. Thursday on Highway 484. His truck was spotted at the scene of the shooting. Investigators then say the 17-year-old sent a text message to his mother claiming he'd been shot and taken by 4 Hispanic men in a white van. But just before noon Friday, deputies sent out an update saying there was no evidence to support this.
We're not pursuing this as him being abducted by 4 Hispanic males in a van. That has been proven to be untrue.
They also released these images they say is Spate buying a bike and tent from a nearby Walmart. And in the middle of Friday's press conference, Lieutenant Paul Bloom got the word the teen was found in Williston.
We always say we cannot do this job ourselves. We always appreciate the public's help.
Deputies say while Caden is safe, their investigation is still ongoing. In Marion County, Jessica Wilkinson, WUFT News.
Today marks 1 year since Hurricane Helen made landfall in the Big Bend region, devastating much of the area. Nearly 250 people died due to the storm, including 34 here in Florida. The UF weather team says storm surge reached 5 to 7 feet in some parts of the coast. The National Hurricane Center says Helene was the deadliest hurricane that impacted states that border each other since Katrina in 2005. Tennessee and the Carolinas also saw heavy damage, with cities like Asheville still working to recover. Earlier this month, we introduced you to Suwannee County pecan farmer Adam Scherer, who says his farm is still working to pick up the pieces after Helene blew through.
It's a complete loss, like I said, so a tree that age, that size, It's hard to put a value on it, but basically if you consider the historic production, it's about a $2,000 tree. This tree would probably produce maybe 40, 50 pounds per year for us. So that's completely gone.
Hurricane Helene caused an estimated $1.7 billion in damages to Florida's agricultural industry. That's according to IFIS officials. Those officials go on to say that Suwannee County was the most affected by Helene.
And due to the damage of Hurricane Helene to north central Florida's coast, state agriculture leaders are pouring millions into restoration efforts. State Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson announced a $2.9 million grant to remove aquaculture that's in poor condition near Cedar Key. In the announcement, it says the funding is coming from the NOAA Marine Debris Program. The grant will also be used to restore the oyster reef habitat. IFIS officials say Cedar Key suffered more than $63 million in estimated losses between the 2023 and 24 hurricanes. NOAA will partner with IFIS and the Cedar Key Aquaculture Association for the restoration program.
Gainesville, it's time to make your voice heard. Voters registration for the upcoming city election is open until Monday, October 6th. Registered voters will determine the outcome of the ongoing battle over the GRU authority. A special election takes place on Tuesday, November 4th. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And in talk of politics, the Alachua County Democratic Party is hosting the 26th annual Lawton Childs Gala. Featured speakers include gubernatorial candidate David Jolly and Florida House Representative for District 13, Angela Nixon. The gala will take place this Sunday, September 28th at 6 p.m. at the University of Florida Hilton. Lawton Childs was a Democratic governor of Florida who served from 1991 until his death in 1998.
A Columbia County congressman is in court facing a restraining order from his ex-girlfriend. According to court documents, Columbia County Committeewoman Lindsay Langston told the sheriff's office that Congressman Corey Mills threatened her. She asked deputies for help, saying, quote, "I can't handle it by myself." Documents show the couple started dating in 2021. After they broke up, Langston says Mills threatened to release nude photos and videos of her. She's now seeking a restraining order.
Gainesville is taking a unique approach in their fight against gun violence. The city is hosting a live performance of the play on site that touches on gun violence and mental health. The free show is scheduled for October 10th at 7 p.m. in the University Auditorium. In addition to the play, Gainesville will be hosting a series of town hall events in collaboration with the Community Gun Violence Prevention Alliance, starting in early October.
Ocala drivers, listen closely. The Ocala Police Department is working with FDOT to enforce traffic violations with a focus on ensuring motorcycle safety. The OPD says the goal of this operation is to raise awareness among drivers to share roadways with motorcyclists. This enforcement continues through the end of the month.
A new face is stepping up to lead the Ocala Metro Chamber. The chamber appointed Mac McCormick as its president and CEO. McCormick has 27 years of chamber and economic development leadership experience. He previously served as the president and CEO of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce in Missouri, where he pushed for workplace development initiatives and advocacy efforts in local and state governments. He officially starts his work in Ocala on November 10th. Marion County Animal Shelters is overcrowded and officials are asking for your help. MCAS says overcrowded shelters can make animals sick and stressed. You can help by adopting or fostering a pet. Even just 1 week of fostering can help the shelter and find permanent care solutions. Here are just some of the furry friends that you can take home today. Look at these love bugs right here. Barney, who can resist that smile? The availability for adoption is happening, and for this month only, with the Marion County Library card, you can adopt for free. You can even find adoption applications on our website at WUFT.org.
Butler Plaza is celebrating the new season with its first ever fall festival this weekend. The event takes place this Saturday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Vice President of Marketing Ashley Bryant says they're excited to bring this event to visitors.
We want everybody to come and bring activities, things to engage our community with, whether it's yard games or coloring activities or just typical hands-on family-friendly activities for.
The Peanuts-inspired celebration will feature games, photo ops, and activities for all ages. Community partners such as Gainesville Rabbit Rescue and the Girl Scouts will join in with vendors serving fall treats.
Coming up on First at 5, censorship is shaking up the comedy industry.
After the break, hear from local comedians about how their jokes may change in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
In the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, comedians are questioning if their freedom of speech is protected.
Comedians normally get a pass when it comes to offensive jokes, but recent censorship is shaking the industry. I spoke with several local stand-up comedians about how these new limitations could impact their creativity.
Night patches.
The battle between censorship and freedom of speech continues to divide Americans, and it came to a head after late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel's show was briefly pulled from the airwaves earlier this month. Some local stand-up comedians who perform at Vincino's neighborhood restaurant and bar feel strongly about their work and how it goes hand in hand with the First Amendment.
America is kind of built on it. I think it's very important that any person, any American is allowed to say what they want to say. As long as it doesn't impede on a person's well-being or health, I think it's very important that we have freedom of speech.
Kimmel faced backlash and support after his comments about conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Ultimately, he was brought back on the air. Ryan Burke lives by a quote from famous comedian Anthony Jeselnik, embodying free speech in his comedy.
The good comedians can make a crowd laugh, but the best comedians can say what he wants to say and make that funny.
Reprimands for those who have commented about Kirk's death have been swift, from being fired from their jobs to being pulled out of the classroom. Even as freedom of speech incidents continue to rise, these comedians say they will not back down from what's funny. They are live every Thursday at Vincino's in downtown Gainesville.
Hurricane Humberto is turning in the Atlantic, and we're also watching the tropics a little bit closer to home. I'll let you know what you can expect for your forecast in just a few minutes.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
We're taking a live look over I-75, where all lanes south of exit 358 are closing following multiple crashes. For information on detour routes, please visit Ocala Fire Rescue's Facebook page.
I know many of us were surprised to walk outside and see rain. It's almost like it came out of nowhere.
Now, honestly, seeing all those umbrellas, an umbrella might be a permanent resident in backpacks this week.
We might need to keep our umbrellas out for another couple of days, but we should be drying out a little bit early next week. Let's take a look at our radar right now. We can see some showers and storms moving well off to our east. Some of them sticking around along 75. Should be pretty cloudy for the rest of the evening. But again, those racing to the east. And while we did see rain earlier, we should be mostly clear for the rest of the night. In the Atlantic, there is Hurricane Humberto, 962 millibars in pressure, now a Category 3 hurricane, so it went through rapid intensification. And we can see here that it has a really well-defined eye wall, lots of thunderstorms around, and it should be getting a little bit stronger over the next couple of days. The good news, though, is it won't be reaching anywhere near us. Again, radar showers and storms moving well off to the east. And what's the culprit for these showers and storms? It's this cold front right here, some dry air behind it, carrying these showers in front of it. And it is called the cold front, but it's not going to bring much cooler air. Really what it's going to bring is some drier air, so we have a little bit less of those showers and storms. Clouds overhead, 79 degrees. Those are really what's helping to cool things off right now. And that cloud cover will actually help cool things off for a lot of us in north central Florida. 79 in Gainesville, staying in the high 70s, low 80s for most of us because of all of that cloud cover. There's been a huge change in temperature over the past 24 hours, losing 8 degrees here in Gainesville, losing 14 up in Live Oak and Sewanee County, getting pretty cool out there. Let's move to the tropics again. This is Humberto. Eye wall, thunderstorms, pretty strong system right now, but what matters is that it's staying well off the coast, shooting the gap between Bermuda and the East Coast, and could see some high surf in parts of the Northeast, but staying away from the U.S. mainland, so not as much of a threat as this right here. Potential tropical cyclone 9 is what we're watching at the moment. Hasn't formed into a tropical storm yet, but has winds of about 35 miles an hour, pretty disorganized. But once it starts to move a little bit more to the north is when we can see more of those thunderstorms form, and we can see this storm get a little bit more rotation. The current path from the National Hurricane Center has it hugging the east coast, making landfall somewhere around the low country or the Carolinas. You can see this cone of uncertainty get much wider here because the models vary a little bit more. We'll be watching this over the next couple of days. Could increase surf along Florida's east coast. Some of these waves could reach about 5 to 10 feet offshore. Not a great weekend to take the boat out into the Atlantic. But if you're on land, should be steering clear of those showers and storms from this system because it's so far off land. Maybe a rain ban, but that's about it for those of us inland in Florida. We can see those showers and storms early morning Sunday, and by the time we get into the later hours Sunday, a more well-defined circulation around this system. And we'll be keeping a closer eye on it as it makes its way a little bit more to the north. This weekend should be pretty rainy out there in the afternoons, particularly. Mornings might be nicer, afternoons rainier. But as we get into early next week, things should start to clear up and look pretty nice out there. Let's look ahead to the 7-day. You can see those rain chances dipping into early next week, and a little bit of a dip in those temperatures too. Maybe fall could be on the way a little bit soon. I'll have one final look at the weather coming up, but first, let's see what sports has.
Coming up in sports, Florida football is on a bye week and turning the page to prep for Texas. Quarterback DJ Lagway has something to say about the importance of this week. And Gator volleyball opens SEC play against Mississippi State tonight. After 2 straight losses, WUFT's Jordan Banks will tell us how they plan to get back in the win column. Stick around for this and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Sydney Espro. The Gators are finishing off their first bye week and turning the page toward number 10, Texas. The Gators are 1-3 after last week's loss in Miami, a start they have not seen since the mid-'80s. The Longhorns are a reversed 3-1 and will be also coming off a bye week as they head to the Swamp. Gators quarterback DJ Lagway has not had the start to the season that he was hoping for, and earlier this week he discussed the frustration and how this bye week could help.
I definitely say it's a good time just mentally, just to kind of rally the troops, just kind of get together, and just compete and just work on our craft. We haven't really had a lot of time as a whole offense together, everybody healthy.
Moving to high school football, it is a busy week 6 of league play. Buchholz hosts Nice, looking for some revenge after losing last year on a walk-off field goal in overtime. Meanwhile, in Levy County, Trenton wants revenge at Chiefland, who beat them by 33 points in 2024. And one game is already in the books. Oak Hall stayed unbeaten as they beat winless PK Young 44-0 last night. The Gators volleyball team is looking to bounce back tonight after dropping their last 2 matches on the road, the last of which was to number 7 Wisconsin. But the team is back home this weekend for the start of SEC play, and WUFT's Jordan Banks is at the O-Dome to tell us how they plan on getting their winning ways back.
The 19th ranked Florida Gators are taking on the Mississippi State Bulldogs here tonight. For both teams, this is the first SEC matchup, but for Florida, they are coming off of a 2-game losing streak. Florida has been dominating at home, riding a 7-matchup win streak, and they've never lost to the Bulldogs in the SEC opener, going 8-0. But Mississippi State is coming in hot, undefeated at 10-0, and one only 2 unbeaten teams left in the SEC. Freshman Lizzie Melzen is one to watch. She leads the leagues in kills and points per set, while Kaylee Hansen is setting the tone as SEC setter of the week. Head coach Ryan Thies brings a strong track record into tonight, 13-4 in conference openers, and he's looking to keep that momentum alive. First serve is set at 7 p.m. at the Stephen O'Connell Center. Live from the O-Dome, I'm Jordan Banks, WUFT Sports.
You can catch all the action from tonight's match on WRUF Radio, live coverage starting at 6:45. And the Gators are back at it again this Sunday at 1. WRUF's coverage will begin at 12:45. The Gator soccer team is gearing up for their 11th game of the season, and they've already matched their win total from 2024. Looking at the numbers, head coach Samantha Bohan's team may not be shooting as much, but they are scoring more. WUFT's Kennedy Lerner breaks down the hows and the whys.
The Florida Gators are officially halfway through their 2025 season. With a record of 4-5-1, the Gators are still looking for their first SEC win. Non-conference play showed promise, with big wins over Maryland and Florida Gulf Coast. But the Gators struggled against top competition like number 3 Florida State and number 9 Arkansas.
You know, we went down 3-0 against Arkansas and we clawed our way back and fell just short, and we did enough to get something out of that. And then we fell behind against Oklahoma, clawed our way back, and then fell a little bit short.
4 out of their last 5 games have all been decided by 1 goal. With 18 goals on the season already, 5 more than last year, Coach Samantha Bohan believes the struggle is on the defensive side.
Keeping teams out of the back of the net, so the problem switched. But that's normal and to be expected when we graduated our starting keeper in back 4.
Looking ahead, the Gators have a tough SEC schedule to face, where the key is going to be endurance.
And we all want to play at a high level of soccer, so that's what our league offers.
There is still belief and optimism within the team. The Gators are staying competitive with teams that would outscore them by multiple goals in past seasons. Back in 2023, Arkansas shut out the Gators 3-0, but this season, the Gators fought hard, only losing 3-2. As the Gators head into the second half of their season, every match matters, not only for record, but for SEC positioning and postseason hopes. Kennedy Lerner, WUFT Sports.
That's it for sports. We will take one last look at your weekend forecast after the break.
Showers and storms this weekend, but we should be drying up early next week.
Thank you so much for tuning in at WFT's First at 5. Hope you have a great rest of your night and an even greater weekend. We'll see you right back here on Monday.